Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video is being seen and shared. Celine Driver once again, bringing to you another not unboxing, since there is no box, and review of another watch that is not mine. It is a tour watch, another tour watch from the Random Rob Discord group. Tour watches are watches that are obtained by Random Rob. Usually he reviews them and then puts them up for a tour drawing. He then, people sign up for the drawing. Then he draws a dozen names, names a ringleader, and the watch circulates around the United States and every once in a while Canada or Puerto Rico or somewhere like that. We get to play with them for a few days and then send them on to the next person. I have such a watch here. I have a watch from a company called Wise, who up until this point I had never heard of before. And it's kind of sad that I hadn't heard of them before. A very nice micro brand. They make quite a few different style watches, this Diver being one of them. They're based out of Thailand, as far as I can tell from the website, which I will leave a link to the website in the description. Very nice watch. This is the, as far as I can tell, the DSX323. Now, it didn't come with a box or paperwork. This is all it came with. It came with this watch on this blue rubber strap. Get to that in a minute. And it came with this extra black rubber strap, which I did not put on, but easily could have. There are several watches on their website that are very similar in color and style. I couldn't really discern a difference from the pictures or the descriptions. 3 of the 4 looked darker than this one. They were all in the black strap, so it didn't differentiate in that way. This one was the only one that on the website appeared to be the right shade of blue, and that was the DSX323. Now, if I have that wrong, and somebody knows I have that wrong, please, down in the comments, please post a correction, and then I will add it to the description later. But this is, as far as I can tell, the DSX, Delta Sam X-Ray 323. Very nice watch. A little hard to get a hold of the bezel on account of this wavy case design. It's kind of hard to get your hands in there. With dry hands with no gloves, you can get a hold of it all right, but I suspect with gloves on, or if your hands are wet, this is not going to be easy to grab hold of. But the bezel turns very easily, has a good throaty click to it. It lines up beautifully, no slop in the bezel design. Likewise, the screw down crown is up for a bit of mention as well. It screws in and out easy enough, but there's no feel, well, a very little feel. I mean, you can, 1 out of 3 or 4 times I felt it pop and disengage. But you can tell it's disengaged from the rather large gap right there, and it re-engages fairly easy, but the disengagement is not the greatest. It's not bad, but it's not the greatest. It is a signed crown, as you can see. 1 click is your date, and 2 clicks is your time set, which also hacks the movement. Push it all back in, screw it down, and you get your water resistance back, which is a true diver water resistance of 300 meters, as you can see. Focus on the case. Case back, really very simple, has some verbiage around the perimeter and the Wise logo on the back side. Very nicely done, very simple, nice and smooth. The case is of course, all 316L stainless. It has a nice matte finish to it. It's very consistent. Looks very, very good. This is a very purposeful looking tool watch. And I like it. I really do. It does not come... It does have an option on the website to fit this with a bracelet. But you know what? In a very rare instance, this rubber strap, this is the same rubber style. It's from the same company. It's the same rubber as what Zelos recently used on their Mirage 2 from FKM. And I got to tell you, it feels wonderful. It's smooth. It's very thick. It has a very supple feel to it. Look how flexible this thing is. I mean, you can twist this thing up to look like a strand of DNA. It springs right back. It's the top side has that nice channeling detail. The bottom side has a channel in the middle to raise this ever so slightly off your wrist to prevent wrist sweat and let the wrist breathe easier. It comes with quick release spring bars. If all rubber straps were like this, I would learn very quickly to like rubber straps because this feels fantastic. It just adds to the overall good feel of this watch. This watch is beautifully made, beautiful to wear on the wrist. I wore this actually in front of my father earlier today as I shoot this. He saw it, and he has a hell of a collection himself. I've got to tell you, he has a very, very good watch collection, and he was impressed with Zelos when I introduced him to Zelos. He was very impressed with this. He took it off, he put it on. He was very impressed with the strap. He was very impressed with the watch presentation overall, and he liked it. And I pointed him to the website, and then I had to go. So, maybe he bought one. I don't know. I'll probably find out in a few days. But he was very impressed. So that's, nobody knows but me. But, take it from me. If my father was impressed with a watch, that was high praise indeed. No helium escape valve like I've seen on a few other watches with 300-meter water resistance. I don't think that's necessary. I'll put this on, give you a wrist shot. It wears, it's not a light watch by any stretch of the imagination, but it wears so comfortably that 5 minutes after you put it on, you're not even really aware that it's there. And there it is on my 7¼ inch wrist. It wears very nicely. It covers the top of my wrist very easily. The lugs aren't too extended, but they're not the most stubby I've ever worn either. But very, very nice. And even a nice detail is this nice big oversized buckle with the logo, well, not the logo, but the word WISE engraved in it. You did, of course, notice the lume pip, the lume pearl at the 12 o'clock. It's because the rest of the bezel is not loomed at all. So let me tell you more about, the vital statistics on my sheet of facts here. As I said, this is from WISE Watches out of Thailand. The DSX323 is the model number. Good size watch, 44 millimeter case diameter, 22 millimeter lug. Oh, by the way, did you notice the rubber strap was fitted to the case? Nice extra touch. 51.85 millimeter on the tip to tip. 15.5 millimeters thick. Now, all the measurements I got off the website except the lug to lug, which I measured on my own, and my calipers were put here and here where my thumbs are. So that's the 51.85. So you can call it 52 millimeter across if you like. 300-meter water resistant. Uses the venerable and tank tough Seiko NH35 movement. Obviously, you know I'm a fan of this movement. A lot of watches, I don't have them. I've only had one NH35 Seiko ever go wrong. That was easily rectified by a local watchmaker for a cheap price. You know, paid him for his time, serviced the movement. It was an easy fix. Sapphire crystal, screw down case back as you saw. Stainless steel case, FKM rubber strap, and all the lume is C3 Luminova. So it's going to glow real nice. I suppose the only real nitpick I have with this watch is the wave pattern around the perimeter of the case. It does, as I said, make it a little difficult to grab hold of that bezel and turn it. You kind of have to grab up here at the very, very top, and your fingers kind of scrape along the top of the waves, which is, you know, it's a minor irritation. But if you have gloves on and you had to play with this thing, I think it would be kind of difficult. I mean, there really is deep knurling on the top here. I mean, you can catch your fingernail on that very easily. But with gloves on, or if your hands were wet or slick with anything, might make it a little difficult. But since 99% of us don't dive with these watches, they're just a style of watch at this point. And people who dive use dive computers now, and the dive watch is almost superfluous in this day and age. Probably not going to be a big deal, but for the 1% who dive with an actual dive watch, it's something you might want to take into consideration, how difficult or how perceivably difficult it is to turn that bezel. For the majority of us, it doesn't matter. I am seriously considering picking up one of these watches. I am going to wait till the end of the tour and see what Rob does with this watch. A lot of times at the end of the tour, the watch goes up for sale, actually it goes up for kind of a raffle. Sometimes a raffle for the opportunity to buy it. So if it does go up for sale in a raffle, I'll enter the raffle, and if I own it, if I win it, I own it. If not, I may very well consider buying one of these myself. I think this is a hell of a watch. And with this FKM strap that matches so nicely to this dial, I mean, this is the exact combo I think I would go with. And I believe the price was about $399, snapshot in time in late summer 2021. So a bargain as far as I'm concerned. Really nice watch. Definitely Celine driver, recommend you take a look at. And of course, I will leave the link to Wise Watches in the description. So if you found this video to be useful, informative, entertaining, all of the above, please click that thumbs up button for me. Doing that does help with the channel growth. It helps with the YouTube search algorithm and draws more people to the channel, and hopefully more people will subscribe to the channel. So that helps grow it. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, the nasty posts, the trolls, the links to bad places on the internet, those comments are deleted. Those commenters are blocked. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. I'm glad you found the place. I'm glad you're here. Feel free to watch as many videos as you like. I only ask one thing in return, and it's such a small thing. Please click that subscribe button down there to the right, that big red button that says subscribe. Click it for me. And when you do, don't forget to click the bell icon so that when I upload new content to my channel, you'll be alerted. And when I do one of my live streams, which I do every Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, or at other times during the week, as time and opportunity avail themselves to me, you will be alerted to those as well. In the meantime, as I conclude all my videos, I bid you that this is a crazy, somewhat dangerous, nutty old world out there, And I ask you all to please be careful, be safe, be well, and I'll see you soon.